Welcome back to the Pro Political Breakdown. How's it going? How's your day been? Now I'm reacting to another video. Abba and Preach talking about the Destiny situation. They have a very interesting perspective that I want to highlight for this video. So let's dive right into it.
Popular demand. Everyone wanted us to cover my girl Destiny and her recent comments. And if you aren't aware, after the Trump assassination attempt, in which I think someone else in the crowd ended up passing away from the bullet that missed Trump, a lot of people had a lot of things to say. A lot of people were talking about it. We were on vacation, so I don't really give. And also, I'm not American, so not my country, not my problem. Destiny made some comments, essentially laughing, didn't really care. If I could summarize everything in a very gleeful tone, he was saying, fuck around and find out, which I hope is a pretty fair summation of what he was essentially trying to say. He says, if you're somebody who engages in violent rhetoric, as Trump does, according to him, and if you're one of his supporters who supports somebody who's an insurrectionist who wanted to overthrow the government, suspend the Constitution, yada, 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 I don't really care if bad things happen to you because you're the kind of person who encourages people to violence. That was a statement. He's like, I don't care, and he said so by making jokes. And
I mean that's what I got from his rhetoric. You know, pretty standard. He just doesn't feel sympathy.
A lot of people had a problem with it. They felt it was insensitive, it was disgusting, et cetera, et cetera. Is that a fair summation? Yeah. All right. I saw some people saying he endorses assassination attempts, or he's saying people should. It's not what he said. From everything I've seen, and I'll probably post the clips of him talking about it, he hasn't said that.
Get the dude, the firefighter guy, Trump, the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am 100%.
A person in the crowd cheering for and supporting a traitor to this country caught astray. I'm so sad, please. As well as
I think this rhetoric is wild for sure. I think there's really no getting around it. The rhetoric itself is wild. But I think the point that's going to be made in this video is that, I mean, this is how Republicans have been for so long. So you're just acting like them. I think that's not a viable excuse, though. Just don't act like things that you hate. I mean, that's what I would say. Just because they're
Donald Trump incited an insurrection and then was granted full criminal immunity for possibly all of his involvement. I have zero sympathy for anything that happens to him or anyone who supports him. If I've offended anyone with my recent tweets, I'd like to make things right. DM me and I'll buy you front row seats to the next Trump rally. There was this moment where Piers Morgan says you seem almost gleeful, then saying that makes you frankly despicable, with Destiny responding,
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything. I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die.
Which you can still say is incredibly bad, but I just want to be accurate as possible. So, listen, I'll say this, man. Sometimes y'all DM me or leave me comments. You're like, oh, you afraid to talk about your girl? But I don't care. First off, fuck you and fuck anybody who think I got a problem with saying this shit. I ain't afraid of saying none of this stuff. And I think a lot of you in the fan base have gotten very comfortable because you've seen that for a long time. We've covered trans women in sports or all this other stuff. So you think like we perfectly align with some of you on the far right where you guys are like, I don't believe in none of this. I'm not with you. I have no problem saying that. And if me saying that bothers you, you need to take a hike.
That's me right here, man. Just because I don't agree with like trans stuff in sports and stuff like that, I'm not with those crazy righties, man. Like they are unhinged. They are unhinged.
Okay, just because I made fun of fucking dweeby liberals who go and want to have safe spaces and do all this corny shit, it does not mean I'm some right winger who thinks all libs are bad. Okay, that's you. Now we don't align there. If you can handle that, stick around. If you can't, that's none of my business. But don't ever think that I'm afraid to express what I'm thinking just to keep you around. I don't care. I'm going to say my thoughts whether you leave or not, whether we go down 1 million subs or not. I don't care. And as far as what Destiny goes, I'm not bothered by it at all. Why? Because the way he talks is normal for American political landscape, okay? I have seen it degenerate over the last 10 years, especially since Trump joined, where people say all kinds of stuff, including Trump himself. I've watched Trump say he wanted to punch protesters in the face.
And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing, like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
I've watched Trump say,
only good Democrat is dead Democrat. Trump has said some crazy stuff, violent record. Just recently, he's calling Joe Biden corrupt and the Democrats are fascist.
The only good liberal is a dead Democrat. Okay, I've seen him retweet this stuff. I've seen him engage in all kinds of violent rhetoric on the campaign trail. I've seen other Republicans. What was the Pelosi guy when he got beat up?
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
And what we'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you have
speak with Shane, please.
But you don't.
I'm sick and tired of you guys. The last guy that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here. Jesus. Get the hell out of here. The last guy did the same thing. You were the guardian.
Yes, and you just broke my glasses.
The last guy did the same damn thing.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Destiny and others have essentially.
Hypocrisy at the finest, because they cheered when they were making fun of her husband. I'm just saying, hypocrisy.
He said as being a hypocrite in this situation, tweeting out a screenshot of Rubin memeing about hammer time after what happened to Paul Pelosi. Also linking to when Rubin wrote, "Here's hoping that AOC, Rashida, and Ilhan join Aaron Bushnell in his brave protest," who, if you don't remember, is the service member who lit himself on fire to protest what was happening in Gaza.
I've seen all kinds of politicians, from Dan Crenshaw, talking about punching Antifa people in the face and talking about violence all the time. It has become normalized in a first world country like America to engage in politics like a third world country. That's how y'all talk about violence and shit in your country. And it's not just Dems. I've seen Republicans do it. And so do I really care that someone else
got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready? OMG, the internet remains undefeated.
made a fuck around? I don't care. This is your playground. This is the sandbox that y'all created. You want to condemn all this behavior, you guys go ahead. But as an outsider, I'm just seeing more of the same.
And the thing that happened is that you go on platforms and you call people from the left snowflakes because they're acting a certain way.
Yep.
Now look at you, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like a snowflake is not someone on the left. A snowflake is just someone that just can't handle being talked about.
Yep.
That's a snowflake.
Talk about it. Hey, now Republicans on the right. Oh, cancel Destiny. Oh, cancel Destiny. Oh, he should be allowed to say that. Get him on. Ban him. Ban him. Hey, man. What happened to free speech? What happened to you should be allowed to say anything? Very interesting, man. Very interesting.
And you can be people on the right, y'all can be snowflakes too.
Yep.
Because the way you're like, I can't believe that's what they doing over there.
Absolutely.
And then you do that over there too. It's just you're the same people. You have the same MO, the same modus operandi, and you have the same way of working as them. You just have different ways of thinking, but it's the same way.
How many times during the BLM protests were people talking about mowing them down or running them over, doing all kinds of violence? That was normal.
That was normal.
That's you guys talking about your fellow citizens and talking about how you guys want violence.
True. The way y'all were talking about BLM protesters were wild, righty Trumpies. Come on.
Against them, and that was normal in the right circles. So don't sit here now and then act like somebody who doesn't care about the fact that a right winger died is some big surprise to you. You know, that to me is a little bit pathetic. That's Elon Musk pathetic. All talking about, oh, I want to run a free speech platform. You're platforming everything under the sun, from neo to doesn't matter who it is. Okay.
Yo, I'm about to make a video on Elon Musk very soon, but Elon Musk he's kind of getting exposed a little bit. I don't know, man.
Okay, you can even have the Ayatollah. He's up there. Okay, they can spew whatever they want, anti-gay, anti-black, whatever. Destiny makes that joke, and then you want a pearl clutch, bro? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. This is the biggest amount of pearl clutching I ever seen from most of these people, and the hypocrisy is crazy. Now, if you want to say you're not okay with what Destiny said, I got a problem with that.
You're fine to say.
You can say it's bad behavior because at the end of the day, it's bad from everybody. Destiny's just engaging more with the bad. But do I actually care that all the people, all the pigs playing in the mud look like pigs? No. And I know this video is going to be unpopular with a lot of you. I also don't care. Don't ever think that I'm afraid to say what I'm going to say because it makes some of y'all upset or makes them. I don't give a shit. Is he my friend? Sure. Am I biased because of it? Probably. But honestly, when I sit back and think about it, and even when I talk about it with my people, none of them really disagreed that heavily. So that's how I feel about it. And all of this talk about, oh, you guys are afraid to talk about I don't give a shit. I'm not American. That's your problem. That's your country, right?
I am American, and I do care. That's why all of this stuff is ridiculous. But, you know, whatever.
I generally don't talk about presidential elections in other countries. It's not my place. You wanted it, you got it. Now you're unhappy with it, door's right there.
You can't talk about freedom of speech, but then when it's not aligned with what you're thinking, you can, you can't say stuff like that. That's not what freedom of speech means.
Bro.
Freedom of speech actually means that the person that disagrees with you have the right to say it.
Yeah.
They have the right to say it. And depending on what they say, there's consequences, but they have the right to say it. Go ahead, say it. Say it out loud with your chest. It might not be in line with what I think. Bro, that's what freedom of speech is. So the minute you have this guy that does not agree with you and says something that you said in the past, it's still freedom of speech. You want it or they want it too.
Bro.
And that's how it works.
What are your thoughts?
Thoughts are it's pretty. You can disagree with what someone and the politics of someone. It's always going to be wild when you're going to be like, oh yeah, if they die, man, people are going to have a problem with that. That's for sure. You can disagree with the politics of some person and be like, yeah, that's good with politics. But then wishing death upon the person, if death happens, like, man, people are definitely gonna take gonna have a problem with it. I think what he was saying was a bit wild, but did he have the right to say it? I believe that he did have the right to say it. What I think was messed up thing, the weird thing, was him getting banned off all the social media and stuff like that.
To be clear, he was banned off of Kick and demonetized, which is like a degenerate platform for pedos and all kinds of KK. Like they allow every.
Very interesting. Very interesting that Kick is picking and choosing.
Thing on that platform that you could imagine in terms of degeneracy. I thought that it was weird that this was where they drew the line, but they did reinstatement, and I think he was demonetized on Twitter by Elon Musk, free speech champion.
Yeah, the guy that says, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this platform and I'm gonna allow all the free speech," but then you got that one person that does not agree with what you're saying, and then you're doing this exact same thing.
Elon Musk looking terrible recently, right? Bro.
Side note,
I used to like Elon Musk though.
There's this comedy night here in Montreal in French that basically it's GHB, gore, hardcore, and I don't remember what the B stands for, but basically you go in there and you do comedy and you push your jokes to the limit, and it's made for that, right? You go there and you say wild stuff in the comedy setting, right? Jokes that you're never gonna do again and everything and stuff. And I was on the stage at that thing and I did a number. And I was talking, the whole night there was some other people that went on stage, made jokes about PDF files jokes and all those great jokes and stuff like that. I go on stage, I do a couple of jokes, and I do some jokes on gay people, right? And one of them in the crowd, there was a break. There was like an intermission in the show. And I saw one of the guy outside that was at the show, and he was like, oh, no, yeah, that comedian, me, I can't, like, really what he said was, I was not having it. Because, the PDF jokes was all right. The grape jokes was cool. But when it was you said, nah. You was like, nah, I'm not having it. You're a big hypocrite. You're a big hypocrite. I understand that comedy is just like a drunk uncle at Christmas. It's funny until he touches you. But at the end of the day,
it's funny.
You're a big hypocrite. You're a big, huge hypocrite. And that's what it is. That my problem with that is that he's going to be on all those platforms, like you say, the Kick platform, which obviously I'm not on the platform. I don't know.
I show you,
but everything you show me,
and this is what
and this is where you draw the line.
Okay,
you draw the line at F around and find out. But you got people kissing teenagers, grown-ass men kissing teenagers, and you're cool with that.
You want to laugh? All the political commentators who always talk about how the left is about deplatforming all this stuff, how many of them did I see go online and complain to Elon, talk about this is hate speech, this is inciting, blah, blah, blah. You realize that they're quick to deplatform just as much as the lefties. They'll talk about it, and they'll laugh at liberals and be like, oh, deplatform is so bad.
It's true. That's why I'm saying people have opinions that they don't really believe. They have opinions that they don't really believe.
But the moment that them like this happened, they also yell for it. So I'm
the same people.
I might have spoken about liberals a lot because that's who I spend most of my time with. But over time and spending enough time around these folks, you just realize that they engage in the exact same stuff. They dox, they deplatform, they encourage all this kind of stuff from the biggest political commentators to the smallest ones. So
I didn't that they left and right.
Me. I'm nuanced.
It's just because you think whenever
I'm nuanced. Hey. If you want a correct opinion, then definitely endorse mine.
Whenever you pause an action, you do an action, you just think it's righteous because it aligns with what you think.
What's more nuanced than having the
whether it's left or right? Y'all the same.
Yeah.
Y'all the same. Well, but I did it because I did it to protect. Well, they did the same thing. They're doing the same thing as well to protect or to whatever or to go align or to erase what is wrong, what they believe is wrong. Y'all the same.
And everything we said is factual. You guys can go look this up. You can go look up the facts that a bunch of Republicans have been calling for violence for a long time. You can go look up the fact that a bunch of people on the right, big commentators, have been calling for deplatforming for a long time. So knowing that, I don't know how you guys are going to even argue, but guess what? At the end of the day, much like Ben Shapiro loves to say, what? Facts don't care about your feelings. And I have a feeling that most of the people who react to this situation had a very emotional response. That's what it is. I'm detached from all of this.
You guys are quick to say facts don't care about your feelings,
but in their feelings,
when the facts aligns with your feelings, and then you say facts don't care about your feelings because you don't care about that fact. But when you don't care about that fact, that's you.
I think the only unfortunate thing about this whole video is that it might have been out of focus. Y'all don't really watch this anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, you can listen to it.
Yeah. It's out of focus, but I'm not re-recording this shit.
Is the audio fire?
Audio works.
Blame the whole shit.
That's it. Anyways, let us know what you guys think in the comments below.
What I think is I agree with everything they're saying. Simple as that. Republicans are hypocrites. Y'all are just Democrats that wear a cowboy hat, man. Y'all gonna be mad about that one. Did you call me a Democrat? Like, what are we doing? All right, let's go to what am I gonna watch next?